Hello and welcome to the Ice Guys. This is the show that takes you into the world of the National Hockey League. Every game, every day, from a betting perspective. With pro sports handicappers, Ian Cameron, Alex B. Smith, and various guests from the world of hockey and sports betting. And now, here's your host, Ian Cameron.
Welcome to the Ice Guys, Saturday, March the 1st. It's a brand new month starting today. Ian Cameron, Alex B. Smith, and Ryan Robinson back with us here on this Saturday edition, a big Saturday slate. We've got, of course, an outdoor game to look forward to, the Stadium Series taking place between Detroit and Columbus. So it's a very appealing betting card here today in the NHL, and we'll get to that, obviously, in just a moment. First thing, though, is we're going to look back on last night and the three games just quickly. The Toronto Maple Leafs, not their best game, honestly. The Rangers actually carried the play, but Anthony Stolarz was good, and the Leafs were opportunistic, and the Rangers just make, just some when they break down defensively, they are horrific defensive errors, and pretty much Toronto capitalized on the majority of those, and they get a 3-2 win over the Rangers. So that was a profitable game. We had the Leafs. We split with the over by Fecta. We missed out on our two bargain bins from that game, Holmberg and Nick Robertson. And I thought we were going to get the Robertson goal parlay, which I took a shot with, because as we flipped to Dallas, older brother Jason Robertson scored once again for the Dallas Stars, and they pretty much take it to LA and pull away in the third period and win 6-2 over the LA Kings. Best bet winner for me for the Dallas Stars yesterday. I figured it's a good spot, getting them back home off the loss to Columbus, and a Los Angeles team that's just not the same team on the road, and they continue to show us that with their play. So nice to see that. The overs cashed in that game easily, the Kings and the Stars. What is that now? That's now 9-1 over the total for the Dallas Stars in their last 10 games. So all of a sudden, here's Dallas become an over machine. Their offense is popping. Their defense has given up, hasn't been shut down, and the combination has been certainly overs for Dallas, and they put a 6th spot on the board in the victory last night. And sometimes you got to love when a plan comes together. Said Minnesota early, maybe get that first period goal. They were in the system play, facing a minus 300 or better favorite in Colorado, and sure enough, they did. They got 2 goals in the first period, but that the thin air and altitude for the second straight night for Minnesota would wear them down as that game went on, and Colorado just got stronger and took over in the last 2 periods. So Minnesota scoring in the first cashes, Colorado team total over 3.5 cashes. So that was a great result there as the Avs get a 5-2 win last night over the Minnesota Wild. And they bounce back after the 2 losses after the break to win back-to-back home games this week against the Devils and the Wild. Alex, thoughts on Friday?
Yeah, like I said, it was a good game, back and forth battle with Toronto and the Rangers. Remember, I said I was a little skeptical taking that over because it just had that feel like maybe we see this game kind of maybe slow down a little bit, and it was got a little physical, got a little chippy. But Toronto coming out with that 3-2 win, and sure enough, kind of game going under the total. I'm kicking myself for not betting it now. I'm glad I recognize that maybe I shouldn't just jump full in on the over, but now I'm kicking myself for not betting the under along with Toronto, I should say. And then you look at Dallas and LA, that game with the first period over, flying over 3-1 Dallas, and like I said, just going on to a route 6-2. That's a good win for Dallas. Not the worst of losses for LA. Like I said, LA is going to have a few bad games thrown in there. They've still been playing well. Those are just 2 high-quality teams, and one getting after it at home, taking care of the game early, and coasting the rest of the way. That's what you need to do if you're a top-tier team this time of the season as the calendar flips to March. And as I say, the calendar flips to March. It is March 1st. It's not April 1st. It's not April 17th, and it isn't May or June. Got people rumbling, talking about Toronto might be live to win the East. Toronto.
I think you refer to our good friend.
I'm talking about our buddy Jimmy Murphy. Yeah, he made a bold prediction, says that Toronto's going to represent the East in the Stanley Cup Final this year. Jimmy, please send me some of the weed you were smoking last night. Jokes aside, Toronto's a good team. Toronto's a good team. All right, like listen, we talked about this literally yesterday, and I threw the segue to you, Ian, and you mentioned about how this is the best Toronto team we've seen in this drought, right? In the 25-year drought.
A contender that can win it all. Let's not kid ourselves. Yeah. They look the part. but it's
That's what
Toronto.
I'm saying.
That's the
In the
That's what
20+ year drought since this team has made a conference final last, this is the best group we've seen.
Yeah.
And yeah, we should feel like, oh, this is a top 5 team that could put it together, especially with a quality goal. But that damn leaf in the front of their jersey, tells me the caution. That turns into a yellow caution sign once the Stanley Cup playoffs start. And so I'm not rushing to jump to any kind of conclusions of that nature, but that's a good win for Toronto. And the more that they keep, these are the games they lose in the last couple of years.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So when they're winning, and we've been saying that. How many times have I said that this year? But you said it too, Ian. There have been games during the season where this is a Toronto lose spot. Minus
They've won
350.
40 in a row with a lead after the second period after last night. 40 in a row. Then most of them obviously this year under Berube. So you can tell.
That ain't the Sheldon Keefe Leafs. That's for damn sure. So maybe they got something going, but I still just please pace yourselves, Leafs fans. We know what's happened for many upon many of the past years.
I think what you got to be optimistic about if you're a Leaf fan is you've got this record. You're on top now of the Atlantic Division again, and Austin Matthews is absolutely snake bit offensively right now. I mean, he's hitting posts. He's getting robbed by the goaltender. You name it, everything but the puck going in for him, and yet the Leafs are still winning games right now. And that's because he's doing all the little things, too. You see those blocked shots and those big face-off wins late in that game against the Rangers last night, those big D-zone face-off victories against Trocheck, who's pretty good in the face-off dot. It's the little things that Matthews is doing that isn't getting talked about enough. Everyone just can't wait to talk about how he's not scoring right now. Well, look at the other things he's doing right now. You're just a little. That's just some Habs hate, Mohammed. You got to like what Toronto's doing right now.
Yeah,
a little bit.
Toronto's doing
that's just being a Habs fan angry at the Leafs a little bit with that. But they're good. The question though with Toronto is, can they do it in the playoffs? They're a very good regular season team, but like I said. We got to see it in the playoffs. Ryan, your thoughts on what we saw last night? Obviously, you're a happy guy. Your Dallas Stars win, and big big parlay win for you in that game as well.
Yeah, I before I get to that, someone sent me a tweet from Elliot Friedman saying he's hearing that Avalanche and Rangers working on something that involves Ryan Lindgren and Jimmy Vesey. He also believes Juuso Parssinen is part of the return, so that's something to keep an eye on. But yeah, last night was a great night for me. I watched the first game, New York, Toronto. I was outside at a bar and restaurant here. It's like 80 degrees and sunny. So I watched most of that game. I was more interested in the two later games, obviously with Dallas, and then the last one because it was a central division rival. So the Dallas game was great for me. I hit a plus 1,400 parlay. It was both your guys' best bets with first period over, Stars money line. And then I had Robertson anytime, Duchesne anytime, as well as Ottinger saves over. Just felt like they hadn't been home at the AAC since February 2nd. Last time they played at home, Luka Doncic was still a Dallas Maverick. So it had been a while with a weird break in there. They went out west and then had the break and then went out east. So felt like they'd be excited to be home and have their big guy step up, and that's exactly what happened. So that was a fun game to watch for me. Anytime your favorite team puts up 6 goals, they should win. And then, yeah, that Minnesota Colorado game was pretty exciting, a little back and forth. But yeah, that was all for me. Had a near perfect day in that Stars game with that 1,400 parlay, and then I also had Wyatt Johnson anytime separate. Which as soon as I got home and turned the TV on, they got a power play. He tipped in. So it was a great day for me. It was anytime you hit one of those plus 1,000 or longer, it's a great feeling. So. Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and I'm excited for a huge card today.
Oh, it is a huge card. There's no question, and definitely looking forward to it for sure. We're just starting to hear some things about, yes, as you mentioned, this potential trade that's going on with the New York Rangers and the Colorado Avalanche. We will see. It looks like this deal is going to happen. It's
coming together. Yeah, it's just a matter of when. So we'll officially let you know when it does break and when we have all the final details. But it seems to be some moving parts. But definitely looks like there's smoke and fire with the Rangers and Colorado.
No doubt, no question about that. All right, let's get into it. We've got 3 afternoon games. 2 of them are about to start in about 20 minutes from now, including this one, the Nashville Predators and the New York Islanders. We've got the Islanders minus 150 home favorites, 5.5 the total in this game. Look. This is a huge day Obviously, there's a shit ton of college basketball. I've got some of it on in front of me right now. We got 2 NHL games. They're starting at the same time. I'll be quite honest with you. I'm not watching this game. It's not going to be on any of my screens. This is probably one of the worst games on the card. Couldn't give two shits about. I love hockey. I honestly could not give a crap about this hockey game, quite honestly. I bet the draw, and that's all I care to say about this hockey game. So, Alex, I turn to you. Nashville, New York Islanders.
Hey, listen, folks. When Ian has that short of a rundown for a game, that should tell you something. This game's a complete pass. Nothing here for me.
It's got draw written all over. Who do you trust here? These two teams.
Islanders.
Game made for overtime, in my opinion, with these two teams. What do you think here in this one, Ryan? Nashville, New York Islanders.
I honestly don't have anything either. I kind of, if anything, I lean towards the under 5.5, but I don't know if I'm going to take that. With how many good games there are today, like you said, this is just.
I'd lean under. I mean, how do you trust Nashville with overs right now? They just can't score. Luke Shen called this the worst scoring team he's ever been on. So.
Yeah, I mean, I don't trust first period over. I don't trust full game over. So I think this is one I'm just going to pass on completely.
Yeah, and Gus Nyquist, what's troubling you, Gus? What's troubling Gus? Gustav Nyquist scratched, so he might be on the trade block right now for the Nashville Predators at this point in time. So, like I said, definitely some. Now, Nashville did get a win against Winnipeg, but we've said this all year about Nashville. Winning 2 in a row and stringing good performances together has not exactly been their thing. I'm not laying $1.50 with the Islanders. So, like I said, the only thing I took here was the draw. We can move on to now. This game's a great game. This is the game I'll be locked into at 12:30 p.m. Eastern time. The red-hot Tampa Bay Lightning, who have played really good coming out of the break, and all of a sudden, Washington losing 2 in a row, looking to bounce back at home. The Capitals, the Lightning in this game, slight road favorites, -115, 6 the total in this game. I got to take Washington. I know they've lost 2 in a row. Maybe they're due for a long skid finally, but this team has still not dropped 3 consecutive games all season. They have yet to lose 3 in a row. Maybe today's the day, and Tampa Bay's playing. And Vasilevsky, he's given up 2 goals in 3 games since the Four Nations break, and he stopped, 86 of 89 shots? He's been, or 87 of 89 shots. He's been absolutely phenomenal out of the break. But Logan Thompson has had a great year. He'll be a formidable adversary in this game. Like I said, I've been on Washington every time they've lost 2 in a row. I'm taking them here at home, -105 in this one. And I got to ride the over by Fecta, liking the first period over, though, more in this game. Washington, 8 straight first period overs for them going into this game. The only thing that concerns me is we've got 2 good goalies here. Thompson for the Caps. Vassie's been great for Tampa Bay. But you got to ride the streak when it's going like that. 8 straight first period overs for the Washington Capitals. So I'm on the over by Fecta, but I like the first period over more. I've got more money, a little bit more on the first period over here. Alex, what do you think here? This is a good one. Lightning Capitals.
Conference finals preview, question mark. I like the first period over here. I laid -130 with that last night. You can still get up to -140. That's a bit steep. Obviously, with this game starting in about 10 minutes, I would suggest waiting for that in game. And of course, I'll be looking for a full game over. Try and get that down to 5.5. That I have no problem laying 125, 130 with today. I think, like I said, day game. We could see this game maybe open up, 2 good teams. I think I like goals here. In this spot, even though with 2 good goaltenders in that, I think we still see some offense. So give me the over by Fecta, majority in game.
I think we see goals too, and here's why. I know Vasilevsky's been great, but come on, Seattle was one of the games he played well in, and the other one was Calgary. Okay, so those aren't great offensive teams, either one of them. This is going to be a test now, and Washington's probably knows that, hey, our offensive execution hasn't been great here in these last 2 games, losing to the Flames and losing to the Blues. So I think you're going to see them really chomping at the bit to get rolling a little bit offensively here today against Tampa. Maybe Vasilevsky keeps it rolling, but you have to keep strength of schedule in mind. He shut down the Kraken. He shut down the Flames. Not quite the kind of opponent he's going to be facing today in the Washington Capitals. Ryan, what do you think here? Tampa Bay, Washington.
Yeah, I'm on Washington as well. I think anytime you get a team that's that good at home and they're, have the value of -105. I know Tampa's been hot. They've won 7 in a row. But I just like Washington in this spot. They know they've lost 2 in a row. They're going to want to bounce back, not make this into a long skid that it doesn't need to be. So I like Washington. I'm on Washington. And I also like that first period over just because Washington is on a 8-0 run, 8-2 in their last 10, and would lose in their last 2. They're going to want to have a fast start. They're going to want to come out strong at home for a daytime game. So I do like that first period over as well. And I'm going to take a small chance with that.
All right, so there we go. We like most of us like Washington in some form. We all kind of like goals, especially the first period over here when it comes to the Lightning and the Capitals.
This is breaking news from the Ice Guys.
Yes, it is. Breaking news. The trade is official. Tampa Bay Lightning and the Colorado Avalanche and the New York Rangers this deal is now official. It's Ryan Lindgren and Jimmy Vesey going from the New York Rangers to the Colorado Avalanche in exchange for Juuso Parssinen and Calvin DeHaan going the other way from the Avs to the Rangers. It's a sign of, look, the Lindgren's not had a great season. Nobody's had a great season on that Rangers blue line. Jimmy Vesey has kind of fallen out of favor in New York, too. When's the last time you've seen him play a prominent role on that team? So kind of a situation where the Rangers are giving two guys that need a change of scenery, giving them that change of scenery. Juuso Parssinen can be an effective top 6 player for a team. We'll see if he can, light a spark offensively for the Rangers. I can see why they'd have some interest in him. He's got some ability there, playmaking ability as well. And Calvin DeHaan is one of those guys. He's a veteran defenseman. He's going to block a lot of shots. Had a shit ton of injuries. Health has been a big problem for him over the years. But no doubt a trade that the New York Rangers are just looking to shake things up. And I think this is not the first move, Alex, that Chris Drury is going to be making.
No, I think there'll be a couple of more moves, and like you said, I think there's gonna be a lot. I think this is gonna be the kind of theme of the trade deadline too, and over the next 6-7 days, or moves we see a lot of just kind of moving parts and a lot of change of scenery. Not necessarily a massive upgrades. I don't think there are that many upgraded parts that are available, especially when we talked about goaltending and so forth. And I was gonna say something to look at from a betting perspective with all these trades from now until the 7th. Please check your lineups. Double check, triple check your lineups, especially before making any player prop bets, things of that nature. Also, make sure with your sportsbook rules what things are. If you've made a bet, obviously you get refunded for players are scratched. Things will be voided. But just double check those things this week, because you will have a lot of issues where you might have a lot of late scratches and, of course, trades being made throughout the days.
Yeah, no doubt. Going to be one of those weeks for sure. Trade deadline 6 days away, next Friday. March the 7th. All right, Boston-Pittsburgh, ABC, national TV game at 3 p.m. Eastern. This is Bobby Wischusen, one of the best, and Callahan doing the call. Boston-Pittsburgh, Penguins minus 125, home favorites, 6 the total here in this game. I mean, have you seen Pittsburgh's games since the Four Nations break? I mean, I think the betting markets are onto it. This total was 6 shaded to the under. It's now 6 heavily shaded to the over, and signs it might move to 6. I mean, Pittsburgh's not an under team in my opinion right now. They're a team that's got horrific defensive play, horrific goaltending. That's a bad loss for Philadelphia, and you do have to give Pittsburgh credit for battling back. But I mean, they are still not a team I'm ready to lay a price with. Certainly at minus 125 here in this game. Bruins, though. They've got their own issues. They blow a game to Toronto that they could have and maybe should have won. And then, of course, the loss to the New York Islanders 2-1. It's not like I'm running and giddy to take them on the road right now either. So maybe a draw here, kind of. And look, Bruins and Penguins have been flirting with overtime here this week. Boston went to OT with Toronto. They almost went to overtime with the Islanders. We saw Pittsburgh-Philly, the second meeting between them, go to overtime. So the draw could be a good option here. That's about it for me, and the over as well. But I might wait for a live over as opposed to betting it now pregame. Just a chance that maybe we actually get a slow start, 5-10 minutes or so. But with Pittsburgh right now, the game offensively can erupt any moment with the way they're not defending at the moment. And obviously the goaltending, Nedeljkovic and Blomqvist, is not exactly a reliable duo to shut the door. Alex, what do you think here? Bruins, Penguins.
No, they sure aren't. I will be looking at the over by factor as well. Just like I said, I think this could be one of those slower paced games that just explode. Or we see a lot of games where it starts off hot and then kind of cool down. This might be in reverse. So I will be looking for those in game, and I do have the draw plus 325. I grabbed that a little bit before we hit the air. So 325 is the best bet online is the best bet I'm finding out.
Yeah, I think the draw is good in this game. I think it's got a real shot in this one as far as getting to OT. Ryan, anything here for you, Bruins and Penguins?
Yeah, definitely lean the Bruins at plus money. Pittsburgh's been a nightmare defensively. They've given up, I think it's like 8 goals, 6 goals, 5 goals in 3 of their last 5 games. They can't keep anything out of the net. So I definitely lean the Bruins here. I also do like the over. I might wait 5 minutes, see if there's a slow start and grab it at a 5.5, 6 instead of the 6.5 that I'm seeing. Something I do like, though, is because, Pittsburgh has been pretty lackluster defensively. I do like Bruins team total over 2.5, see it at like minus 145-ish. I definitely see him scoring 3 goals today. I look for some, if there's no offense early, I look for it to pick up late. So I think I'm going to hop on that over if there is a slow start and we do see it drop a little bit.
We are expecting Swayman and Nedeljkovic to be the matchup here. Trent Frederick out, Matt Patra day-to-day may not play, and of course still without Lindholm and McAvoy on the back end are the Boston Bruins, and Michael Bunting on IR for Pittsburgh going into this game. So that is the injury situation that we have here in this one. And Bruins as an underdog are 19-9 to the over. Good stat there from Jonathan, our stats guy, our numbers man. Makes sense. Like I say, Pittsburgh's not a team I'm betting any unders with at the moment. All right, Calgary, Florida. This is actually also an afternoon game, 3 p.m. Eastern start in Sunrise. Florida minus 270, home favorites, 5.5 the total in this game. Calgary gets shut out by the Tampa Bay Lightning. Obviously, I'll tell you what, I'll be quite honest here. I know this is system play, obviously, with Calgary coming off the shutout loss here in this game. I actually think this is probably an under, quite honestly, with Calgary and Florida here. I hate to do that, but this is one I've really thought long and hard about not betting it, even though it's the system play, quite honestly, because I just get that feeling, Florida coming off the win against Edmonton could be a little bit of I don't want to say flat spot, but I don't know if you're going to see them pedal to the metal offense here necessarily. That being said, they have scored 4 goals in back-to-back games. And like I said, I know it's the system play here, but Dustin Wolf probably in net. He didn't play that bad against Tampa. He got no run support, if you will. They didn't score for him. So it's one of these deals where, it's system play, but this is as disinterested as I've been to bet the system play when we've ever had it, because I just get the sense this is low scoring. So I'm actually not betting the system play here. I'll be quite honest with you. I'm not betting it. I'm not betting the under either, because it is the system play. But like I said, when you've got Wolf and you've got, obviously, it probably will be Bobrovsky again in net, and it is confirmed already, Bobrovsky for Florida. Calgary struggles to score on the road. We've seen that. I think defensively, though, they played pretty solid against Tampa Bay. That's not the reason they lost the other night. It probably feels like a bit of a lower scoring game. I actually considered maybe a look to Calgary here at this big number. I hate this spot for Florida. I really do. They're coming off the big win against Edmonton. They've got the history with the Oilers. I just wish, I could count on the Calgary offense a little bit more. But I am thinking long and hard about maybe just pizza money on Calgary plus 230, because I do continue to see this team playing hard. And obviously every game's important for them right now as they try to battle for one of the wild card spots in the West. And they did win in Florida a couple years ago. Alex, what do you think here? Flames, Panthers.
Yeah, it's creeping right into that range of you have to just take Calgary off of principle. Dustin Wolf's not a plus 230 goalie. And yes, this offense, the road offense of Calgary might be plus 230 worthy, but when you have a goalie like him who can steal you a game, and this would be a huge test for him to steal you a game on the road against the defending Stanley Cup champions. That's a huge mental boost for him if he can do it. It's a huge boost for that team if they can do it, especially knowing how they've struggled on the road. So, I might jump in. This may be a good live game. Obviously, unless Calgary jumps out to a 1-0 lead, which I don't quite see happening. We should be able to, maybe see where the Flames are at pace-wise, and if they look like they can, take the fight to Florida for 60 minutes, we take a shot with the big dog.
There you go. And Aaron likes Flames to be leading 1-0 after the first period, plus 600. That's what I would want to do too. If I'm on Calgary, I would want to split it. First period and money and full game, because you could get that Calgary good start, Florida flat start, and then Florida gets rolling as the game goes on.
I don't usually bet these, but maybe team to score first wins.
Yeah.
Or Calgary to score first goal and win the game, tied in as a parlay or something like that. You can boost it that way as well.
We're not quite at the minus 300 or higher favorite price range with Florida here to trigger the system play, but Calgary to score in the first period could be an option as well. Yeah, could
Sure.
be an
Yeah,
option
that's
here
with
to
it. Yeah.
consider. That's probably what I would do. I'd probably do a three-way split: a full game money line, a first period money line, a first period Calgary to score. Is probably what I would the way I would divvy it up here in this game. All right, Ryan, what do you think here, Calgary, Florida?
Yeah, you guys kind of talked me into that. I was kind of looking around. If you do want to take a small shot with Calgary, which I think I might, Calgary money line with just their team total first period over half a goal, not even a score first, just to get on the board. Together with their money line is plus 350. So I might take a small shot with that. If you think they are going to score a goal in the first period and want to take a small chance, for them to show up and take down Florida, I do like that. So I think I'm going to take a small shot with that. But that's pretty much all I have in terms of pregame. I don't really. I was kind of with you, Ian. I do lean towards the under, just because Calgary's offense has struggled at times to put up big numbers, especially on the road. So I think that's all I'm going to be on for this game.
All right, there you have it. All right, we roll. By the way, great stat about Sharon Govich from JD that he's owned Bobrovsky and had a lot of success scoring against him. So, as far as Calgary, I like Coronado. Kadri's been great. Huberdeau against his old team back in Florida. I could see that. I know he's gone with the defenseman too, Mackenzie Weegar back in Florida for Calgary to find the back of the net. Robert Carlson in our chat liking the two former Panthers going back to Florida as members of Calgary, of course. Now Huberdeau and Weegar to find the back of the net here tonight or this afternoon for the Calgary Flames. All right, next up, it is the Stadium Series. It is Ohio Stadium, the shoe, home of the Ohio State Buckeyes, which will be home to NHL hockey. Here tonight, 6 p.m. Eastern time, Detroit Red Wings, Columbus Blue Jackets. Of course, this is a home-and-home series. They played in Detroit at the Pizza Box the other night. The Jackets get the win in that one. Detroit looking for a little redemption here. We've got Detroit total of 6 here, shaded to the over, and even money, minus 110 both sides. Pristine weather expected for this game. We're expected no precipitation, not much wind. It'll be cold because the temperatures are really starting to drop in the Northeast right now. And I know that firsthand. It's really getting colder here today. And same thing in Columbus. So for an outdoor game, I don't think there's going to be any major problems. I think it's going to be, the ice should be in pretty solid condition based on the game time temperatures. So I think it's going to be one of these deals where, for an outdoor game, not bad. Look, Columbus, I know it's revenge for Detroit because they lost at home, but this is some serious mojo and serious magic the Blue Jackets have got going. And we know you got to consider this a home game, even though, of course, it's not at Nationwide Arena. It is still in Columbus, and they've been awesome in anything designated as a home game this year. And then I read what they've got planned. They've got like Johnny Gaudreau's mom, like waving the flag and bringing the players out on the ice right before the game. Like, how are they not going to be just, the adrenaline's just going to be flowing here. It's like kind of like the deal we had the other night with the mom's trip, in Detroit, and Johnny Gaudreau's mother was, of course, included in that mom's trip. How do you have the heart to lose with Johnny Gaudreau's mother in attendance, or doing what she's going to do here before the game, basically waving the flag and leading the Blue Jackets team onto the ice. So, I expect it's Jackets or nothing for me. What I might do is I bet them a small pregame at minus 110. Can always, maybe if Detroit maybe gets a goal first, they bet them live at a plus price. That's certainly something I'll be eyeing here in this game. I'm not going to do anything with the total here. I had the over the other night. These outdoor games, I'm not a big totals guy, when it comes to the outdoor games, because it's always a little tricky what to expect. I've seen some high scoring games. I've seen some 2-1, 3-1 games in these outdoor games as well. So for me, it's just a small Columbus bet pregame, and then we'll see if we can attack anything live as well here in this one. Alex, what do you think here? Stadium Series. This is on ESPN, by the way. ESPN. Yep. 6 p.m. Eastern time with McDonough, Ferraro, and Emily Kaplan for this call. What do you think here, Alex? Outdoor game, Red Wings, Blue Jackets.
And this is, I think this is going to be one of the more interesting outdoor games. I'm not crazy about this outdoor thing. It's kind of, I believe it's run its course. Obviously, it's on ESPN, not ABC.
Huge game in the standings. Two teams battling for playoff lives in the same battle too. Eastern wild card, both of them.
And of course, it's not on national, ABC because we have to have the all important Warriors and 76ers game this
Isn't that
evening
awful?
on that network. But but this should be a fun one. Like you said, they're gonna have all the different ceremonies, and of course, having Gaudreau's mom there, that's gonna get that 90,000 plus crowd rocking and rolling. I don't care what the sport is, what the moment is. Anytime you have Ohio and Michigan in the same building, there's going to be fireworks. I think this game is going to be kind of crazy, kind of sloppy early. We've seen some sloppiness in a lot of these outdoor games that's led to some first period overs. I was on it with the Winter Classic in Chicago, St. Louis. I was on in the Winter Classic last year. I'm going to be on the first period over here, minus 130. That's the only total look I have. But I lean with Columbus, and I'll be watching this game, so I'll be looking to add that live. This will definitely be any live bets I have from this contest. Certainly will be on the Patreon live betting chat tonight.
Yeah, I think all those Jackets players that have ties to the Michigan Wolverines, and there's a shit ton of them, Larkin, Werenski, Fantilli, Kent Johnson. I mean, you go on down, there's tons of them, that have connections to the Michigan Wolverines.
Yeah.
Larkin for Detroit, but there's a shit ton of, believe it or not, Jackets that have played for the Michigan Wolverines. Kent Johnson, Adam Fantilli.
Yeah.
It's incredible how many. Werenski. You go on down the list. I mean, it's just unbelievable how many Michigan Wolverine alum are currently suiting up for the Columbus Blue Jackets right now. I think have fun with any of those props. I totally do not disagree with any of them. I think that it makes a ton of sense. And they're all in good form offensively, those guys. Who's not in good form? Werenski and Larkin, Johnson and Fantilli. Fantilli's been a point machine. He's on a consecutive game point streak right now. Adam Fantilli. Kent Johnson is scoring in the majority of games recently for the Columbus Blue Jackets. So all of those guys are live, I think, to hit the score sheet in this game tonight. Anything you're liking here, Rye, with Detroit and Columbus?
This one's kind of tough for me because initially I was with my buddy, actually. He's a diehard Wings fan, watches every game, and he didn't have a great read on it. My initial reaction was, Columbus got the best of Detroit, kind of beat them up the other night pretty good. So I was thinking kind of revenge spot, but Columbus has just been good at home, even though it's not a traditional home game at Nationwide. Like you said, it's in Columbus. They're going to have the majority of the fans there, and they've played well in front of them. So it's kind of a tough spot. It's kind of a toss up for me. He watches every Wings game. We were kind of talking about it. He really likes DeBrincat as well as Raymond. Those guys have been pretty hot. I like Patrick Kane in this spot anytime. I think he's talked about how outdoor games are fun and how he likes them. And, this could be one of the last in his career. Who knows if he's going to keep playing after this. So I might take a small shot with Patrick Kane anytime. Just kind of a fun outdoor prop. I think, these guys like this stuff, whether they talk about it publicly or not. And since this could be one of the last times we see him play in one of these atmospheres, I think I'm going to take a small shot with him. But nothing pregame for me right now in terms of totals. I do like Alex's train of thought with the first period over, especially if there's not any goals in the first 3 minutes. You're going to see that price get better. So I'm going to be watching for that. This is definitely a game I'm going to be watching this evening, but not much for me in terms of sides or totals pregame.
Yeah, it should be interesting. I'm looking forward to it. From all indications, they're fired up in Columbus. They're excited. I mean, they're saying they expect crowds in the 90 to 100,000 range for this game at the Shoe there in Columbus. Kirk Herbstreit's a big hockey fan and a big Blue Jackets fan. He's going to be there. So it's just I'm sure they'll get him on during the ESPN broadcast.
Of course they will.
Yeah,
of course
no
they
doubt.
will.
No doubt, of course. That would be, if there was a such thing as a prop, like they did type, props for this, like they do for the Super Bowl. How many times will someone be mentioned, or will so and so appear on camera? If there was a Kirk Herbstreit will appear on camera at some point during this game, that would be a lot, probably.
Yeah, and then they asked, how what do you think of Columbus this year? And he goes, I had dinner with Rick Nash years ago. Like I can see something goofy like that happening. Who knows?
Yeah. No, definitely. I could see that for sure. By the way, Talbot confirmed for Detroit. We expect it'll be Elvis Merzlikins. Elvis will be in the building here and starting for the Columbus Blue Jackets. All right, Edmonton still looking for their first win following the Four Nations break. They take on the Carolina Hurricanes. Carolina minus 160, home favorites, 6.5 being the total in this game. Very interesting that Chris Knobloch, I've been waiting on him to ruffle some feathers. He's not that kind of personality. to just, rip into his team and kick garbage cans in the dressing room. That's not his personality. You can tell he's very quiet. He's very laid back, but even he got a little annoyed regarding his team after the loss to Florida, saying we had a few passengers tonight, didn't show up. And that's Chris Knobloch saying that. And it takes him a while, but I'm at the point now with Edmonton, and, I've said it now about them. They're at the point now, I've given them a couple of chances as far as backing them against Tampa, backing them against Florida. They've let me down twice. I'm now just leaving them alone and letting them show me they're capable of winning and getting it done before I'm ready to back them once again here moving forward. They are going to Calvin Pickard here, and he'll get the start for the Oilers. Now, he did get the start against Washington, and the last one did not go well for him. That was the 7-3 loss to the Washington Capitals. His numbers actually before that, he had a streak where he had given up 3 goals or less in 4 straight starts. His overall numbers aren't bad. His win-loss record is 14-6. But boy, oh boy, he got absolutely lit up, obviously, in that last start by the Washington Capitals. We'll see if he can bounce back. There's Darnell Nurse, looks like he's going to be out again. Carolina, we'll see how they fare. They obviously had a tough 2 games in Toronto and Montreal. They bounced back with a win against Buffalo at home the other night, keeping the Earl brothers winless for Buffalo, I guess, when they're in attendance at these Carolina games against the Sabres. Freddie Anderson projected but not confirmed yet in net. I'm not on a side, but you know what we're betting here. We're betting this Edmonton first period over. It's 15-2 in the last 17 games with the Oilers now. So first period over, I really, really like. A little bit on it's an over by Fecta, but again, more money on the first period over, which I prefer of the two. Aaron likes Kane's team total over 3.5. I mean, Edmonton, that's another issue with them post Four Nations break. They're not defending all that well. Their penalty kill has been awful. Post Four Nations break, so I couldn't argue with that. Carolina team total over 3.5. A Carolina team that found their offense, obviously, against Buffalo the other night. And there's another reason I like. There's a 15-2 for Edmonton in the last 17 games. First period over wasn't strong enough. Calvin Pickard, as Jonathan says, 11-1 run to the first period over for him in his last 12 starts. So, yeah, first period over is the best bet in this game, in my opinion. Alex, what do you think here? Oilers, Canes.
Yeah, riding that first period over, but I am doing it live. I'm seeing -145s all the way up to -160 for that first period over. So this will definitely be a live play circle for me. This will be this is my favorite live play, to be honest, of the evening. But yeah, just jumping in for that. That's the only thing I have in this. Nothing on the full game over or nothing total, nothing on the side either.
I did consider actually limited benefits, saying it is a good price on Edmonton. I actually did consider betting them a third straight time, but then I said, well, you know what? They got to show me now. And then I looked at their history in Carolina. They've lost 3 in a row here in Raleigh. And the last 2 were ugly, 6-3 and 7-2. So this has not been a kind place to the Oilers the last 2 times they've been here. I think it's a goals game, though. I do think they will chip in offensively. I don't have the utmost confidence in Freddie Anderson. And if he starts here, that's going to open the door for Edmonton. I think if you like Edmonton, maybe take a shot with their team total over, which cashed despite them losing against Florida. I think that's the best way. If you like Edmonton, take their team total, because if they're going to have a chance to win, I think it's going to be because their offense heats up, not necessarily because we trust Calvin Pickard or the struggling D right now that they've got going. Ryan, what do you think here? Edmonton, Carolina.
Yeah, Carolina's kind of dominated the Oilers in this series history. I think they're like 7-3 in the last 10. Edmonton's on a skid. They're struggling. I like Carolina here at home to kind of get the ball rolling in the right direction. So I'm going to take them. I like their regulation at 60-minute win, -110, -105 range. I'm going to ride with them to get it done in 60 minutes.
All right, Montreal Canadiens, Buffalo Sabres. We've got Buffalo -145 home favorites. The total in this game sitting at, it looks like 6.5 across. It was 6. It's gone up to 6.5 though, because I remember I bet full game over overnight, and it was 6 with juice. Those are all gone at 6.5 now across the board. This is over by Fecta for me. Montreal, 4 straight first period overs. Look at Montreal coming out of the break. Every game, I believe, for them coming out of the Four Nations break has gone over in the first period. We talk about Buffalo home games. Other than the Anaheim game, that's the one that did stay under the total. But the majority of their home games this year have been overs, so I like it. Overs. I got it at 6. I still like it at 6.5. The full game over. I like the first period over, and I like Montreal here. Plus 125. Anytime Montreal's a dog, it wasn't their best game against San Jose, but they found a way to win against the San Jose Sharks. This is the role we like Montreal in, on the road as a dog. It's also a situation where Buffalo, they've been playing great at home, but now they finally get cooled off by the Hurricanes the other night, and now they come back home. Do we trust them? I'm not so sure if we do. Necessarily here. And Montreal has played well coming out of the break. They pummel Ottawa, albeit a injury-decimated Ottawa team. They obviously have a nice, very impressive shutout win against Carolina. And yes, it wasn't the best game against San Jose, but they found a way to win, and avoided a bad loss to the Sharks. So give them credit for that. So I like Montreal as a dog here, and they have definitely played well in Buffalo. No question about that. And a lot of Ab fans go there. It's not quite the invasion that it is when the Leafs play there, where it's like 90% Toronto fans, or looks like it. But there'll be a lot of Hab fans there, of course, in attendance. Jacob Chikrin, exactly. Didn't bet him today, Jonathan Davis, to score, and of course now he does. So that's the way it works. And then I'll bet him next game, and he won't. That's kind of the run we're on with Jacob Chikrin. But I am happy that Washington scored because we're on the Caps and we're on the first period over there. So keep it coming. Alex, what do you think here? Montreal, Buffalo.
Yeah, I'm just looking, and we're seeing, and this is confirmed. Jakob Dobish will be getting the start here.
It is. That's a good point. I meant to say that, but forgot. Yeah, Jakob Dobish and UPL are the goalies tonight.
Yeah, Dobish, first start since February 5th, first appearance since February 9th.
He's been good, but there's a long fucking time.
It's a long layoff. Because I was wondering, I'm like, why on earth are we still, laying prices with the Buffalo Sabres? Why are they still favored anywhere? Why are we talking about plus 125 specifically with Montreal? But that would add to it. I still like this price. Yeah, and like I said, Dobish is
Dobish has been better on the road too than at home. Something important to keep in mind.
Right. And if okay, he had a great start and then he had a couple of bad games and now you've given him a month of rest, like maybe he should be fine and ready to go for this one. So yeah, plus 125, I have no problems with that. Even the Habs.
There we go. All right, Ryan, what do you think here? Anything for you here with Habs and Sabres?
Yeah, I'm in the same spot with you guys. It's just too good of a price not to take. Montreal's been solid lately. I don't trust the Sabres ever, so I like that plus 130 price that I'm seeing. So I'm going to take Montreal money line.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a little bit baffled, but I think it's because Buffalo's played so well at home for about the last few weeks. I think that's a big part of why this price is where it is. But Montreal hasn't lost since the break. It's a good price to be taking them here in this one. Yeah, this might come back, this Washington goal. Gosh darn it. But we'll see. It might be a high stick that takes it off the board. Challenged by Cooper, and we're talking about one of the best coaches in the sport challenging. It's not like you got Dan Bylsma, with a hope and a prayer challenge in Seattle. This is John Cooper. So my guess is he's probably
Islanders lead 1-0 too.
Yeah, Islanders have scored against the Predators 1-0 there in the first period as well with the Preds and the Islanders game. There you go. All right, we can move on now. Next up, we've got San Jose and Ottawa. Speaking of San Jose, the team Montreal came back to beat, taking on the Ottawa Senators. Ottawa minus 320. Huge home favorites here in this game, but they are getting some serious reinforcements for this game tonight. All three players that have been missing for them these last few games, they're all back and in the lineup tonight. The captain, Brady Tkachuk, he's back. Shane Parlay Pinto, he's back. Josh Norris, he's back. So they are definitely much closer to full strength tonight with this game. So that is definitely overturned. I figured it would be. So still scoreless there with the Lightning and the Capitals in that one. All right. But this game here, Ottawa getting a lot of pieces back in the lineup, which, look, you would think now Ottawa's struggling, but they get Brady, Norris, and Pinto back. This is going to be great for them. They could come out flying. But it's also you get three guys back. Sometimes that chemistry is not there right away. The cohesion is not there right away. What I like is the system here. The system has been – this is even stronger than the off a shutout loss, first period, full game over system lately. The system of betting the underdog to score in the first period against a favorite of minus 300 or better. It's been strong. We saw it with Minnesota last night against Colorado, scoring in the opening period. San Jose, by the way, in their 2 games since the Four Nations break, they scored in both games in the first period. Scored in the first period against Montreal, scored in the first period against Winnipeg on Monday. So this team has done a good job, the Sharks, of getting on the board early in the game. So I like San Jose a lot here to score in the first period. It's been a very good angle, taking these massive underdogs when they're playing a minus 300 or greater favorite, just taking them to score in the first period. We're not asking them to shut down the other team. All we're asking for is San Jose to put a goal in the back of the net in the opening 20 minutes, something that they have done here in back-to-back games, and it's a nice like minus 110 price, even money or so, for the Sharks to score in the first period. So that's what I like most of all here in this game. I think first period over, you could talk yourself into that because Ottawa's certainly had a bunch of first period overs here since the break, but I like the San Jose goal in the first 20 minutes the most here in this one. Alex, what do you think here? Sharks, Sens.
Yeah, I agree. San Jose to score in the first. That is the only play that I like here. I don't even like first period over because it's like I said, with Ottawa getting a bunch of pieces back, maybe there's a little bit of a kind of feeling out, getting reacclimated process in the first 20 minutes, and this could easily be 1-0 Sharks. So I'm just gonna stick with that. Like I said, that's something that we've been hitting with of late with these 300, 400. Favorites, fading them and taking the dog to get a goal in the first period. That's the only thing I like. Also, just to mention for those watching and stuff live, I have Caps first period live, Caps to score a goal in the first period plus 160. I added both of those in live as well.
Yeah, maybe puck don't lie situation. We've seen that quite a bit over the course, well, not just this season, but in the past, where oftentimes a team gets a goal disallowed. It's crazy how often they'll come back a few minutes later and score. So there's no doubt. Yeah, the goal in the first 10 minutes in that system play, 33-18. So there's something to keep in mind when it comes to San Jose. And look at last night, the Minnesota-Colorado game with the system play with the big favorite. That goal in the first 10 minutes happened, and
then
like
Chicago in the betcast. That was a goal, and it was within the first 10 minutes too. So I might add that as well. Yeah, Sharks first 10 minutes.
Yeah, it is. It's in that minus 135, minus 140 range with the goal in the first 10 minutes. So it's not the best price, but it's manageable.
Grab it live.
Yeah,
it's a live look.
Yeah. Just get the minute or two without a goal, and then jump in, and you'll get it right down to even money just after a minute or two of scoreless hockey. That's definitely a good way to maybe approach it. What do you think here, Ryan? San Jose, Ottawa.
I didn't have anything in this game. It was probably going to be a pass for me, but once you guys started talking about it, I looked at that first period San Jose goal, minus 110. I like taking a small shot with that. I think they could definitely put one in the back of the net in the first period. They've obviously lost. They've been losing. They're going to at some point it has to turn around, and if it's going to turn around, they're going to want to keep the pace high early and find the back of the net. So I don't hate that. It's pizza money shot for me with just a small shot on San Jose. Team total first period over half a goal, minus 110 range, I think.
All right, there we go. Yeah, Will Smith's not a bad option as far as a goal prop here for the San Jose Sharks. He scored against Montreal, and he's had lots of chances lately. You can see his offensive game is starting to percolate here. I'm going back to the well with Sanderson, too. I mean, he's definitely been someone that's been shooting the puck a little bit more. You never know what you're going to get from Tkachuk. Will be his usual crash and bang, hit everything in sight. But you're still talking about a guy that's missed a couple of games, and Pinto and Norris have been out for even longer. So, like I said, Ottawa should win, obviously, but and certainly they're more closer to full strength. But like I said, it's not always easy to just put three great players, important players, back into the lineup and just expect the synchronicity to be there immediately. All right, Philadelphia and Winnipeg next up here. We've got Winnipeg minus 210, home favorites. The total here in this game sitting at, it looks like 5.5, shaded to the under here in this game. Winnipeg has see, this is interesting, right? Because Winnipeg had that 11-game win streak. They set the franchise record for most consecutive wins, and then they have that streak snapped against Nashville the other night. And people think, well, they'll bounce back. Will they? I mean, sometimes when you go through that kind of a very long win streak, and you get it snapped, it's not always easy to just bounce right back and play well. And the Flyers are now that's a bad loss for the Flyers. There's no question about that against Pittsburgh, blowing that lead the way they did. It was a weird game where it looked like the Flyers were going to run the Penguins out of the arena again. And then Nedeljkovic has his hissy fit after getting pulled, slamming the bench door, yelling at Sullivan. And then the next thing you know, Pittsburgh, it lights a fuse for them, and they come all the way back and win. But this is where I normally like the Flyers here. They're getting a big price. They're going to be pissed off, and Torts was pissed too that there wasn't a major penalty given in that game as well on the hit that took place on Hathaway. I mean, he was just not happy that it was only a minor penalty. I think they maybe got a little rattled by that, the Philadelphia Flyers as well. But I don't know. Winnipeg, the great run, it comes to an end with Nashville. I know they're obviously going to go back to Hellebuck tonight. Should be Sam Ersson once again for Philadelphia, although that's not confirmed. But that's what I'm waiting for, because I don't think I would take Philly if I see Kolosov or Fedotov getting this start. That's the only thing that I'm holding off on. But if it's Ersson, I'm going to be interested in taking a small flyer, no pun intended, with Philadelphia here at plus 180 in this game. Because I think Winnipeg here, it's not always easy when you go that long winning. It gets snapped, the big win streak, to just come right back. And again, let's not forget, what did we see from the Jets the last time they were at home on Monday night? Oh, yeah, they needed overtime to beat San Jose. It's not like they played a great game that night. So right. I think this is Philly, and I think this is a sprinkle on the draw for me here as well. Alex, what do you think here? Flyers, Jets?
That's the move, the draw. Because how many times, like you said, and that's a perfect example, that San Jose, Winnipeg. How many times have we seen Winnipeg at home as a big favorite play a sleepy game, and they're down a goal late, and then they tie it up, and they go to overtime, and then 15 seconds of overtime, they win it. So I will be on the draw here. This is not a complete pass for me, but that's the only thing I'm adding is the draw.
Just the draw here for Alex. All right, Ryan, how about you? Flyers, Jets?
I was kind of leaning towards the under. If anything, I don't have anything pregame, but I don't hate that draw. I definitely understand. I like the look of it. I agree with you, Ian. Sometimes when you go on a big winning streak and then you lose one, it kind of throws you off for a bit. It's not easy to just bounce right back and, get back to a 4, 5, 6 game winning streak. Sometimes it throws you off and, you're vulnerable for a couple games. So it's not going to be easy for Winnipeg. And obviously, like you mentioned, Philly is not happy about that last game. So I don't hate the draw here. I could definitely, looking at Winnipeg's recent games, 2 or 3 of their last 5 were overtime shootout. So definitely a team that has gone to overtime a lot. So I do like that play as well.
Don't lose sight of the fact the Flyers have won 2 years in a row here at Canada Life Center in Winnipeg. That's something to keep in mind. 2 years ago, and both of them were shutout wins. 4-0 2 years ago for the Flyers over the Jets in Winnipeg. And last year in January 2024, 2-0 for the Flyers over the Jets. So this has been a place they've had success.
They play each other again in 5 days, it looks like, in Philadelphia too, which is kind of interesting. So they have this in Winnipeg, and then later this week they'll see each other again. So could be a spot too. Whatever happens in this game, you look for kind of the
revenge spot for Winnipeg. Yeah. If they drop this one, that's what I was thinking too. If Winnipeg drops this one tonight and I cash with the Flyers as the big dog, maybe come back and take the Jets when they meet them again in Philly later in the week. That's definitely something to consider doing. No question about that. Noah Cates, he's been great for the Flyers. How do you not maybe look at him to score a goal? He's been rolling. Tippett, no doubt, is always a threat as far as finding the back of the net is concerned. Those are some looks there for Winnipeg. I keep thinking, obviously Velarde, Scheifele, Connor, always a threat, but Cole Perfetti, I think, could go on a run. He's obviously someone that got on the board. I think it was either last game or 2 games ago. Certainly someone that I think might have a little bit of a goal-scoring run in him moving forward, because he certainly had the chances of late. All right, Los Angeles and St. Louis. We've got St. Louis slight home favorites in this game, minus 115. The total here sitting at 5.5, shaded to the under in this game. I mean, this is getting to the point with the LA Kings where, show me what you can do on the road. Show me you can win on the road consistently, before I'm ready to back you. Now, they're off a 6-2 loss. That's not going to sit well, but it is a back-to-back for them on the road. They haven't been good on the road. It's one of those deals where I could see it kind of like last night with Minnesota, Colorado. Maybe LA early strikes for a goal. They could. because I don't think Jim Hill or anybody on that team's happy with their effort last night against Dallas. But as the game goes on, I think the Blues obviously could wear them down. Remember, they had to travel all the way from LA to Dallas to start the road trip. Now you're on a back-to-back. You've got David Riddick likely going to be the starter in net here on a back-to-back. I don't trust him at all. I'm going back to that Vancouver game again. I did not like him giving up that goal to Garland. I think he's got to stop that. It was a short-sider. It was a nice shot, but he's got to make that save in that situation. David Riddick, not a guy I trust. Blues are feeling it. Now, maybe a slight letdown after a huge win against one of the best teams, Washington, but I think they're playing well right now, the Blues, and they certainly have a goalie advantage if it's Binnington tonight against Riddick. With the way Binnington's been rolling, he's kept it going, this great form coming out of the Four Nations break. So St. Louis for me, minus 115. That's the bet for me here. Alex, what do you think here? Kings, Blues.
Yep, St. Louis plus 115, and I'm also on that first period over 1.5. I got minus $1.08 over at FanDuel. I could see this being a game where we see some goals early. Kings could give a little fight early, but I think St. Louis will kind of take away with it late. So Blues and the first period over for me.
There you go, Blues and first period over for Alex here with LA and St. Louis. Ryan, how about you?
I went back and forth in this game. Obviously, LA got kind of embarrassed last night in Dallas, giving up 6. Wasn't their best effort, wasn't their best performance, so they're going to be hungry early, want to bounce back. So I don't hate that first period overlook. But then, St. Louis has also been playing better hockey. They do have to go to Dallas tomorrow and play. They'll be in a back-to-back situation. So it's, are they looking ahead to that? Are they focused on this game? It's kind of a tough spot for me, so I don't have anything totals. I am going to ride some hot hands. It looks like Adrian Kempe has scored in 5 straight games versus the Blues. And Robert Thomas has an assist in 8 straight games. So I'm just going to ride the hot hands with those for some player props. But in terms of sides, I'm not taking anything right now pregame.
Okay, there you go. Good. Yeah, 2-0 Islanders. What did I tell you about Nashville? I know they finally won a game against Winnipeg. You cannot trust them to win 2. You haven't been able to trust them to win 2 in a row all year. Now, obviously, they could still come back and win, but obviously not a good start. Down 2-0 to the New York Islanders. It's just when you're a bad team, you're, and that's what Nashville is, a bad team. Bad teams can't be trusted to string wins together. I say that over and over again. That's why when you look at the bad teams, when I do my handicapping, do you know how many of the bad teams in the NHL, I see this dismal record off a win? Yeah, that's why they're a bad team. They're unable to get on any sort of run. And Nashville down 2-0 in the opening period to a mediocre Islanders team. It's not like they're being whipped here early by the Panthers or by the Leafs or one of the better teams in the East. This is the Islanders doing the damage against you. Shows you all you need to know about them. I'm going back to the Fogue Daddy, as he's called. I don't know where he got that nickname, whether it was Carolina, Edmonton, or LA, but yeah, he's had that nickname for a while. Warren Fogle. He's been really feeling it for the LA Kings. Even though I like St. Louis in the game, I definitely think goal prop involving him worth a look here tonight for the Los Angeles Kings in this one. All right, and Braden Shen too, because Braden Shen's, the trade route, although they might be keeping him now as they continue to accumulate these wins to keep themselves afloat, St. Louis. So I don't think it's a given. And Doug Armstrong is on record saying that they're going to have to knock our socks off with a trade offer for us to pull the trigger on moving our captain, Braden Shen. So I don't think it is a foregone conclusion by any stretch of the imagination that the Blues are going to be moving on from their captain by next Friday's deadline. All right, next up, we've got New Jersey and Utah. Utah minus 115 home favorites. The total here, 5.5 in this game. You got Jersey off the loss that, Keefe wasn't happy with his team's performance. Jake Allen wasn't. Jake Allen kind of stormed out once that game got out of hand and just said, hey, fuck you guys. I'm out of here. Peace. That's kind of what it looked like at the end of that Colorado game the other night. So good spot for New Jersey. They're a good awful loss team. They've been better on the road. But, boy, it's not easy to get in the way of Utah right now. Utah has finally found their game. They're healthy. They got Jersey back on the blue line. We talked about how Gunther and Cooley, both coming back from injuries, have really certainly solidified this team. And all of a sudden, their power play is lethal again. It's amazing how when you get, 2 of your better offensive players back, how all of a sudden your power play can just turn things around. And we have certainly seen that from Utah here of late. The 6-1 win against Minnesota. Their power play, has scored a goal in 5 of the last 6 games. Like I said, it's been very impressive. They are now 6-2 in their last 8 games overall. They are on a 4-game home winning streak. Yeah, that's right. A 4-game home winning streak. It's been a while since we've been able to see that from the Utah Hockey Club. So we'll see if they can keep it rolling here. Devils and if Utah can keep it going here tonight against New Jersey. Like I said, I think you can make a good case for both sides here in this game. New Jersey won 3-0 against Utah way back in October. I'm back and forth on this one. I honestly don't have a strong opinion sidewise. I mean, New Jersey's in a bounce back spot. Don't really want to rush to fade them. Don't really want to go against Utah in this nice little run they've got going at home. So as of right now, not much. Could this game go over? Yeah, but Vejmelka's playing well right now for the Utah Hockey Club. So this is probably the game on the board where it's lukewarm opinions across the board. I lean over, I lean Utah, but not enough at the moment to bet. Maybe something live if something becomes appealing. Because I could actually see Utah being a good live move if they fall behind, given the fact that obviously the altitude affects the visitor usually more than it does the home team. Alex, what do you think here? New Jersey, Utah.
Utah, 4 home wins in a row. That deserves a golf clap. But this is a pass for me. I'm not betting this. This is better spots to bet in the later hours and on the card tonight.
There's some good props in this game, though. That's definitely what appeals to me more than the side in total. There's some good prop options here when it comes to the Devils and Utah here in this game. Obviously, it goes without saying for Utah, your likes of Keller, Hayton, Gunther, Cooley have been terrific of late offensively for this group. You can't go wrong maybe looking at any of those guys as far as props moving forward. Dursey being back on the blue line has made a difference for them as well. And for New Jersey, you look who you expect maybe to get going. Stefan Nason on the second line with Hischier and Tatar could be someone you consider here. Dougie Hamilton, has been certainly more shooting the puck more from the blue line, so something to consider there as well as far as some props for this one. What do you think here in this one, Ryan? New Jersey, Utah.
Yeah, this is a pass for me as well. There are some props that I really like that I'll get into in a little bit. There's, like you mentioned, Cooley's been hot. He likes playing at home. He's scored in 6 of his last 8 home games. Clayton Keller's obviously been great for them as well. Has an assist in 4 of the last 5 Utah games as well. So they're big dogs. You're going to have to be their big dogs, and I feel like you can't go wrong taking a shot with any of those props.
All right. No, exactly. So it's, like I said, more of a prop game for me here when it comes to the Devils against the Utah Hockey Club. Another thing, too, is why I'm not on the over. Jake Allen was livid with the team in front of him the way they played. Keith kind of said the same thing. You got to expect tighter defensive effort tonight, maybe, from the New Jersey Devils here in this game compared to the way they played, obviously, against Colorado the other night. All right, we move along here. Just 2 games left now, and they're both the late games here on this Saturday night slate. We've got Chicago and Anaheim. Anaheim minus 150 home favorites in this game. The total sitting at, it looks like 6 shaded to the under here in this game. I'll be honest, I laid it with the Quackers in this game, Anaheim, but a little bit better price than what's out there right now. I think when I bet Anaheim, it was closer to minus 140, and it's gone up to minus 150 in a lot of spots. But I did lay it, with Anaheim. I mean, I think it's just a bad way right now for Chicago. Kind of fool's gold that they made it interesting against Vegas. I think that was just as much Vegas totally taking their foot off the gas pedal and falling asleep with a 5-1 lead as it was Chicago getting back into that hockey game the other night. So I think Chicago or Anaheim, I like the way Anaheim's playing. Obviously, they beat Vancouver the other night. They've had a nice little run, obviously, of late. It looks like, by the way, we're going to see there's a chance we might see Gibson tonight, actually. I'm starting to see that now for Anaheim. It hasn't been confirmed yet. He's had the upper body injury, but some sites have him not confirmed, but projected possibly to start. Him or Dostal, it'll be. I'm seeing sites with Mrazek projected, but that's not confirmed as of yet, which would be a bit surprising considering he got lifted and had that terrible opening. The whole team was bad, but Mrazek didn't help things either in that first period against Vegas. So we'll see how it goes. But right now, the only bet for me, Anaheim, minus 140. Alex, what do you think here? Blackhawks, Ducks.
This will be obviously a target for the first period over in game. Not betting it pregame, but of course 20-5, last 25 for the Hawks. And like I said, they're just in bad form right now. Anaheim should be able to get off to a hot start and be able to name their score in this one. I don't know when the bleeding's going to stop for the Hawks anytime soon. So that's what I'm targeting. First period over, in game. You could maybe grab Anaheim regulation, laying 145, 150. I'll probably add that on as well. But this is more the same for the Hawks.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate what we're seeing from them. Yeah, Kooky, lend me Lacombe, Jackson Lacombe. A lot of people liking props involving him once again tonight for the Anaheim Ducks.
Oh, guess who's back in the lineup for Chicago, by the way?
Who?
Andreas Athanasiou.
Oh, you're right. The Greek Stallion. It's been a while.
Yeah,
there you
back
go.
from witness protection in Rockford. So
right,
that's something.
I like Cutter Gauthier too. I've been waiting for this guy to get on a heater. He scored twice against Detroit, scored a goal against Vancouver the other night. Cutter Gauthier, Leo Carlson. I'm going with the youngsters here, maybe to be the catalysts offensively. Of course, you can never go wrong with your usual suspects for Anaheim. They're always a threat. Terry and McTavish, and especially for Toronto's been good lately for the Anaheim Ducks as well. But Gauthier and Carlson are my favorite goal props for Anaheim here tonight. Ryan, what about you? Chicago, Anaheim.
Something I don't have anything right now in terms of a side or total. Something I like that's just out of bargain bin range. It's Connor Bedard over half a power play point. I see it at plus 290. The Ducks rank 22nd in penalty minutes, and they're among the bottom of the league in penalty kill percentage. So they're not a good special teams team. Bedard obviously leads the Blackhawks at power play points. So, if Anaheim takes a few penalties, I'd look for Bedard to cash in. So I really like the value there at plus 290. And that's something that's just out of bargain bin range, but something I would be taking a shot with for sure.
All right, final game of this Saturday card, the Pacific Northwest, I guess you could say regional rivalry here, Vancouver and Seattle. We've got pretty much even money here with the Canucks and the Kraken here, minus one. Actually, it's Seattle now slightly. No, it's pretty much actually minus 110, both sides here in this game. Total sitting at 5.5 across the board, shaded to the under. This is a weird one because when I first looked at this game, and obviously we know with Vancouver, offense has been hard to come by for them, and we have seen that on display. They did beat LA 3-2, but they only generated and mustered 17 shots. Before that, they only scored 1 goal against Utah, 1 against Vegas, 2 against Toronto. They only scored 2 in the loss to Anaheim. So 2 goals or less for this Vancouver team in 5 of their last 6 games. So my first thought was I didn't have a strong opinion on this total necessarily. But then you start to think about it just a little bit more that, hold on now. You look at this Vancouver-Seattle series, and I remember mentioning this, earlier this season when the Canucks and the Kraken went head-to-head a few times, that it's just been over bonanzas between these two teams. Vancouver and Seattle, 9-1 to the over. That's the full game over. 9-1 to the over in their last 10 games heading into this one. This year, 2 meetings. They've both gone past regulation, and they both went over the total. Seattle got a road win in Vancouver, 5-4 in overtime. I remember that one. It was a comeback win for Seattle. And then Vancouver returned the favor with a 4-3 shootout win in Seattle. So when I see series history that strong, I'm definitely betting over 5.5 here, even with my concerns about this Canuck offense right now. It should be Kevin Lankinen in net for Vancouver, Joey Decord for Seattle. I'm going to take Seattle as well. I like the total more, but I'm going to take Seattle here, minus 1. They got embarrassed by the St. Louis Blues in their last game on Tuesday, 7-2. And I still, even with Quinn Hughes back, which makes a difference, and that's another thing too, gradually we should see a little bit more offense from Vancouver with Quinn Hughes patrolling the blue line again.
Sure.
But with an embarrassing loss like that, Vancouver still a little shaky, in my opinion, to be counted upon to win games at this point in time. I don't mind a shot here with Seattle off the embarrassing loss to the St. Louis Blues, minus 110. Definitely like this over, though, 5.5. Like I said, 9-1 to the over in the last 10 meetings. It's very hard to disagree and go against a strong head-to-head trend like that. Alex, final game. What do you think here, Vancouver, Seattle?
Yeah, this is one of the two things I bet yesterday. Over 5.5 at even money. You mentioned 9-1, and that one under. By the way, that was a 5-1 final with a total of 6.5. So if you're talking about 5.5, every meeting between these two teams has gone over that number. So once again, Vancouver, Seattle over 5.5 for me. I also had a little smaller to the first period over, minus $1.05. Of course, you can also grab some prices, better prices in game with both of those. More than likely, we'll add some 5.5 at a plus, maybe 120, 125 if there isn't any scoring in the first 3 minutes.
Probably we'll split this up actually with Seattle first period and full game. Split it in half rather than putting it all on the full game. That's probably what because I got to think the first period they show a little something strong here when you get belted like that 7-2, and that was a terrible game. Seattle's had some stinkers this year, but that was really bad. That St. Louis 7-2 loss, and they've had how many days? 3 full days off, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday to stew on that. So I'm going to split it with Seattle, first period and full game for them, along with that full game over 5.5. Ryan, what do you think here? Canucks, Kraken.
I did the same thing as Alex. I just took the over yesterday, got it at plus 105, I think, at that over 5.5. So I really like that. I know I see it's like even money right now. So over 5.5 is all I'm taking pregame.
Come on, Chip. You know this is a long show on a Saturday. What do you want from us? It's like 12 fucking games on the card. Of course it's going to be a long show. Yeah, we got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 13 games, I should say, on this slate today. So, yeah, they're going to, to get through 13 games, and as I'm looking at my counter here, almost an hour and 12 minutes almost. That's pretty damn good. That's what I consider pretty good
Especially
pace.
3 of us.
For 3 people, yeah, and that's what I wanted because I know I've got a little time crunch. I got to be out of the house in about 25 minutes from now, so that's why we sped it up a little bit here today. Yeah, Garland's the guy you got to go with if you're going to bet Vancouver props. This guy plays hard every single night for the Vancouver Canucks. 500th game, plus 900. Rich is taking a shot with Marcus Pettersson, the defenseman, who they got, of course, from the Pittsburgh Penguins. I know you are, Chip, of course. I sound angry. I'm not really that angry. I'm just saying. Yeah, exactly. You'd expect a long show on Saturday. Yeah, lightening up. No, I'm okay with that as long as we can get this over 1.5. We get a late marker here from somebody.
Yeah.
Preferably Washington. And Washington is going on a late first period power play here. So here's a potential opportunity. All right, good stuff. Shout out to everyone in the chat. 572 live viewers. That's awesome. Hit the like button. We appreciate it very much. Thanks to everyone for joining us here on a Saturday. And make sure you join us as well on Patreon as a member. Just $10 per month. Patreon.com/IceGuys. Goalie charts, totals charts. Every day you get our sides, totals, and player props. Betting card posted each and every day on the Patreon page. And again, we've got 2 exclusive Patreon live betcasts coming up in March, including this Thursday, March the 6th, the eve of the trade deadline. We will be on with another Ice Guys live betcast exclusive to Patreon members, 7 p.m. Eastern. So again, make sure you sign up and subscribe for just $10 a month and get on board before Thursday so you can be part of the betcast. $10 per month, patreon.com/IceGuys. Your subscription goes a long way to supporting the show. So make sure you get on board. $10 per month, patreon.com/IceGuys.
Yeah, and like I said, we will have the card up today for the day games. I will also have some of the live looks that I have posted that will be in the new chat feature. So definitely check that out. Also, we'll have goalie charts updated by the end of the weekend. And also check out the Ice Guys store, iceguys.myspreadshop.com. We've got all new merch in the store. No specials as of right now. But like I said, everything's fairly priced, and we've got all kind of sizes, all kind of styles, all kinds of merch, you name it. We got everything right now at the Ice Guys store, iceguys.myspreadshop.com.
There you go, iceguys.myspreadshop.com. We got new merch, great gear. Make sure you check it all out, iceguys.myspreadshop.com. The card will be posted before 3 p.m. Eastern, probably by 2:30 Eastern time. We'll get because I got to go out for a bit, but I'll try to do it on the fly when I'm in the Uber, because of course I don't drive. So when I run errands, the Uber does the driving for me. So when I'm in the car, we'll get the card posted. It'll be up before 3 p.m. Eastern, though, before the Boston and Pittsburgh and the Calgary, Florida games start on the Patreon page. Good stuff. Hit the like button. We appreciate it very much. Bargain bin special of the night and best bets coming up in just a moment, right after we hear from our great Ice Guys sponsors.
Support for the Ice Guys podcast is provided by Boston Hemp Incorporated, Tailgaters Social, and a big thank you to all that subscribe to the Ice Guys Patreon page. Everyone loves a perfect pair. Bacon and eggs. Thunder and lightning. Mario and Luigi. A hot dog with fries. Ian and Alex B. That's right. Everyone loves a perfect pair. So why not pair up your game nights with Boston Hemp? From exotic flower to concentrates and edible products. You'd be hard-pressed to find a better pairing than Boston Hemp and hockey. Check them out today at bostonhempinc.com. That's bostonhempinc.com. Boston Hemp Incorporated, the official smoke sponsor of the Ice Guys. Void where prohibited by law. Not available outside of the United States. Must be 21 or over to obtain products. Check your local regulations to see if Boston Hemp is available in your area.
Shout out to all our great sponsors, including Boston Hemp Inc. Get 20% off all orders on the website using the promo code ICEGUYS at bostonhempinc.com. Yeah, I do drive. I drive the show. That's a great point. Exactly.
Yeah.
So there we go. I am a driver.
Yeah.
Drive this damn show 7
yeah.
days a week. My goodness. Yeah, no doubt. So I guess you could say yes, indeed. We do drive in some form. All right, let's hopefully drive ourselves to the win column with bargain bin special of the night. Alex, what do you got?
Let's go outdoors to the Horseshoe. We got Columbus taking on Detroit. And, I mean, this guy's just been on fire, right? Like, we all loved his game. Zach Werenski. You can get him to score a goal plus 360. And we've seen defensemen chip in these outdoor games, right? You know, a shot from range, kind of losing the lights a little bit, and it trickles through. But he's a guy who he might just be right in front of the goalie and score one, too. So, plus 360, the best price available for Zach Werenski. Anytime goal in the Stadium Series. That is my Saturday bargain special.
There you go. Zach Werenski. I like that. And again, he is a home, and this is technically a home game for Columbus. He has been a home point producer this year, big time for the Columbus Blues. It's funny because his road production really drops, but his home production has been incredible for games in Columbus. We'll see if that continues tonight. Alex B. Smith going with Zach Werenski to score a goal for the Columbus Blue Jackets for his bargain bin special of the night. Ryan, bargain bin special, what do you like?
I'm going to go to Utah, and I'm going to take my former captain, Josh Stone, anytime goal. See that plus 440. He's playing around that third line. He's going to get some power play looks net front. I caught up with him the other day. He said he's feeling good. He's finally feels like he's getting some confidence back and stuff like that. So I'm taking Donor, anytime goal, plus 440 for my bargain bin.
All right, there you go. Josh Doan, Utah Hockey Club for Ryan Robinson with his bargain bin special of the night. So the LA Kings have played 4 games since the Four Nations break. And in 3 of them, this guy has scored a goal, including 3 straight games with a goal, including last night. And we had a piece of it. Did not have him for the bargain bin special last night, but we got him for the bargain bin special tonight. Fogue Daddy, Warren Fogle for the Los Angeles Kings. Even though I like St. Louis in the game, I think the LA Kings, red hot, Warren Fogle can find the back of the net. Warren Fogle plus 370 for my bargain bin special of the night from the Los Angeles Kings. All right, best bets for this Saturday. Alex, what do you like here for best bet?
We got a lot to choose from. Let's go with that first period over with LA and St. Louis. Kings helped us last night, giving up 3. We like the Blues here in this game, but I think the Blues can, like I said, get some offense rolling. Kings should be able to get a little pushback too in that first 20 minutes. So LA, St. Louis, first period over 1.5, minus $1.05, actually the best price available at MGM. That's my Saturday best bet.
There you go. I like it there with Kings Blues over 1.5 first period for Alex with his best bet. Ryan, what do you like here for best bet?
Yeah, there's a couple things I was back and forth with, but I'm going to go out to Carolina, and I'm going to go with that Edmonton Carolina first period over. The Oilers are obviously on a run with that, so I feel really good seeing 2 goals or more in the first period down there in Raleigh. See it at -140, -145, so that's going to be my best bet today.
All right, that's definitely going to be on my card. No question about it. Edmonton, Carolina, first period over, 15-2 run to the first period over for Edmonton in their last 17 games. So Oilers, Canes, first period over, best bet for Ryan Robinson. My best bet for this Saturday card, lots to choose from. I am going to go with, look, they have been undefeated out of the break. They've just dominated this team in Buffalo. Bleu, blanc, rouge, au Canadien, au Canadien. Yes, the Montreal Canadiens. That's just a great price with the way they're playing. Their playoff push has been revitalized with these 3 wins coming out of the break against Ottawa, Carolina, and San Jose. They've owned Buffalo in KeyBank Center in Buffalo. They're getting a good price. I think Buffalo had a little bit of their momentum stunted with that loss in Carolina the other night. Montreal a live road dog tonight, plus 130, the Montreal Canadiens. My best bet here for this Saturday NHL card. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Hit the like button. We appreciate it very much. And like I said, it's a huge Saturday card. And let's hope that we've got Saturday profits to go with it. A reminder, the Ice Guys is live 7 days a week, Monday to Friday, 2 p.m. Eastern, Saturday and Sunday, noon Eastern. If you can't watch the show live, download the Ice Guys podcast in audio form on all major podcast platforms, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, and more. Download the Ice Guys podcast when you can't watch the show live. For Alex B. Smith and Ryan Robinson, I'm Ian Cameron. Have a great Saturday. Enjoy the games and good luck. We will be back with you tomorrow on Sunday for another edition of the Ice Guys.